All right. Welcome back to Cover Clan Travels. And what we're going to talk about now is packing for a world cruise. Pretty Herculean task there. I'm going to struggle to get this done in 10 minutes, so I'm going to try to move it along. Here are the agenda. I'm going to explore four different packing strategies, talk about some packing item groups, and then start breaking out what those things are. Look at protecting against lost luggage and some things you can do. Pre-shipping, which is a component of the 2026 Oceania World Cruise, and then a summary of things talked about during this video. So here are the kind of four packing strategies. There is a packing strategy out there that says, let's go minimalistic. Let's just take the minimum set of clothes that we would do one segment and wear them on 12 different segments. Nobody knows. Well, people will know, but nobody cares. And then take advantage of the free laundry that comes with a world cruise. So that is an approach. A balanced is to take a bit more than minimalistic, but not a lot more than minimalistic, that allows for some dress and style optimization as you're doing this. And the third group that says, what? There's no luggage limit, right? This is 6 months. Why plan when I can just bring everything? And there will be some people that actually do that. And then a variant of that is this idea of starting with minimalistic or balanced or extensive and just buying more as you go along to complement something you missed along the way. And so those are the kind of four approaches. And I think you and your spouse partner kind of have to talk about that, figure out which of these fit your style. And all of them are viable, but which of them fit your style for packing for a world cruise and being gone for 6 months. As you're doing this, you want to look at what the weather is going to be on the cruise. And I've covered that in another video, but I'll bring it back as we talk about packing. You want to look at these miscellaneous topics down in the bottom left. And then, of course, you want to look at the itinerary. Where are you going to be? What are you going to be doing? There, are you going to go to the gym? You need gym clothes. Are you going to play games? Do you need to bring some stuff associated with those games? Oceania has added this idea of a Blue Horizons party. Do you need stuff for that? And then offship, normal tours, conservative dress sites. If you like beach days, my wife and I do, then you need a beach kit. If you like hiking, I do, and my wife loves me, so she'll go on the hike with me. Then you got to bring your hiking gear. And so I'm going to kind of try to go through all of this. I'm actually going to leave miscellaneous to the last, but we'll talk about weather first, then move over to the itinerary, and then come back to miscellaneous as we're going along. So from a weather perspective, you should have seen this slide where I've got two tables on statistics for the 2026 worldwide cruise. But regardless of any cruise, you should do a weather analysis and look at the temperature, look at the dew point, and determine what clothes are going to be appropriate for that particular cruise. And as I talked about in the other video, different people have different reactions to temperature and dew point. If you live in a hot, humid society all the time, you're probably going to have a higher tolerance. For me, when I was in Iraq, the temperature was 130. I'm wearing a full uniform and about 50 pounds of body armor on top of that. I'm pretty good with hot. And so anyway, you want to look at that and make sure you think about how you're going to be able to adapt to the temperature and the weather. As you're doing that, the consistent guidance is think in layers you can carry in a backpack. Remember gloves if it's going to be cold. And then shift out those layers in your backpack as you need to do that. I will note that there's some really good internet resources out there. I really like the Inside Cabin website. It's got a world cruise packing list, and you can see the URL there and a link to their main site. Cruise Insider also has some pretty extensive packing checklists that you may want to check out as you're thinking about that. As I went through those websites and several others, there's some things that I didn't see said a lot that I've asked you to consider. So my wife and I are big fans of packing cubes. you should consider those. It really allows you to compress, to organize, to unpack quickly, to pack quickly, and to get to maximize what you're getting into your luggage. The small ultra collapsible bags, I mean, small like 1 ounce that fits, in a very like this much space, but then expand out to a really big bag is important. Carry a couple of those because you never know when you come across and you go, I need to do some shopping and I've got to get it back to the ship. As you're traveling, because airlines do lose luggage, it's happened to me like 4 times, you want to cross pack. And that means part of your clothes are in your wife's luggage, part of your wife's clothes are in your luggage. And you're thinking carefully about that so that if one gets lost, you're still sufficient. You've got daytime clothes, you have nighttime clothes, hopefully you're hand carrying your medication, but you've got enough to survive until they find your luggage or you can file an insurance claim and go get additional clothes. And then, as I kind of mentioned, you should carry as much medical prescriptions as you can on carry-on or use the Oceania luggage forward service. Again, airports lose luggage and you want your medical prescriptions are likely the most precious resource you're moving other than you and your partner. So make sure you've got those in carry-on or take advantage of Oceania's luggage forward service. All right, so let's get in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you real examples with real colors of what I'm using just so you have a sense from a guide perspective of what to bring. So for kind of day and night wear on the ship and in the gym, I'm planning on bringing 8 set of underwear, 6 shorts, 6 collared shirts, 6 t-shirts, 7 pants, and I've listed out the colors: blue, light blue, black, khaki, rust green, gray, and black. You may have different style. Please go for other. Notice that I listed black twice. Um, 3 hats: an Oceania hat, a military hat, and a Stinson that will be appropriate at some parts of the trip. A vest that is very, very difficult to picket or pickpocket. Underwear, yes, I mentioned it twice. Don't forget. No, I've never forgotten underwear on a trip. No, no. Maybe I have. And then 4 sets of shoes: athletic, brown leather, black waterproof, and gray waterproof are my normal sets. I've got 1 set of blue that I'm bringing for Blue Horizon that is a dressy athletic, if you will, which by their rules is allowed. And then for gym clothes, 3 shorts and tops that I rotate through laundry, and then 4 pairs of white socks. For nighttime wear and Blue Horizons, I've got 6 long sleeve coming, and again, you can see the colors there. I'm not going to read them to you. I typically bring 3 coats and rotate through them. I have a brown wool coat that I picked up in Norway. It's great. I have your classic blue blazer that I bring, and then I bring a much more modern, lightweight, appropriate when the weather is really hot, steel gray coat that I will wear. I have 2 sets of dressy greens. One is gray and one is black. 2 belts that I rotate. And then I kind of rotate the brown, black, gray smart shoes. They're appropriate for nighttime. And then for the Blue Horizons, I'll be wearing my Adidas Samba OG boots. They're good for dancing and they're considered dressy. Just ask I did for the Blue Night. When we start thinking about off ship, for my normal tours, my day wear works really well. I mentioned the vest, but I've also got a set of pants that are extremely difficult to pickpocket, and it really depends on where we're going that I would wear those. The vest is really handy for storing a whole ton of stuff, so I kind of like that. But you got to watch your weight, and you don't want to how much weight you're carrying, and you don't want to stand out as a tourist. Although often you're on tour and you're walking around with a bunch of other tourists, it's pretty obvious. For conservative dress sites, the ladies often will need head covering, shoulder covering, and a conservative hem length as you're kind of walking around. And the Oceania newsletter Currents should provide additional guidance on this. I've visited the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia many times, and I've also visited several other countries in the Middle East. People want you to dress appropriately, but they're not going to jump in your face and be angry about it. They often will offer clothes so that you can be conservatively dressed. But just think about it and decide what you want to do as you're going along. And if you're going to a conservative dress site, respect the culture and the site with the appropriate things, or don't go. That's okay too. Beach kit. My wife and I like beaches, and we've got probably 10 or so days that we're going to a beach as part of our tour. So we've got two very ultralight collapsible chairs. We've got a Yeti backpack cooler, beach blanket, a backpack picnic kit that has all the increments of running a picnic, Bose waterproof speaker, and then a scuba kit that has mounts for our Hero 13 camera for when we're doing that kind of stuff. So again, something that we can pack up and carry with us when we're going to a beach or we're going to a site that supports snorkeling. We've kind of got, it says scuba kit. It's not scuba. We're not scuba diving. We're certified, but we're not. It's a snorkeling kit. My typo there. Hiking kit, I really like hiking. So this is really detailed, but I've got three jackets, a outdoors research rain, which weighs like 3 ounces, and a great rain jacket. Patagonia hiking hoodie, which I wear to get to mid-tier temperatures, and then an enlightened equipment torrid cold weather jacket. I think it weighs 5 ounces, and it's good to like 0. I mean, it's exceptional. It's expensive, but it weighs nothing, and it's exceptionally good. It's one of those puffer coats that you can pack into a backpack, but it's extremely, like I said, like 5 ounces. I have light work gloves, individual toe socks. I really recommend them. You won't blister, and then over the top of them, wool socks. Merrell hiking shoes. Notice it says shoes, not boots. And then black diamond poles. They're the best. A refreshing cooling towel. Use it all the time. And then in two different backpacks. One, a Patagonia 28 liter, which I use all the time, and then a 50 liter that's a collapsible waterproof bag, bigger. But sometimes you go in where there's a lot of water and you want a bag that's going to protect everything you got. A black diamond rechargeable headlight, an adventure medical kit. I always carry one in case somebody needs something. And then I have an escape light thermal blanket in case something really bad happens to someone. Oftentimes, that will be the difference between life and death. Thermo rest, X-seat so that you're not sitting on the ground all the time, food, water, and then a 25K recharger. I've got a 10K recharger too. It just depends on how long we're going to be out. For medical, electrical, and photo, 6 months of medical prescriptions. You should consider a second pair of glasses or hearing aids. I do wear glasses, but my vision is pretty close without glasses, so I'm probably only going to go with one set of glasses, no hearing aids. Obviously, a whole suite of electronic charging devices and cables, some binoculars. And we typically bring three cameras, and I definitely plan on bringing three cameras. My iPhone, a Hero 13 when we get a lot more adventurous, and then really good. It says Song, but it's a Sony. Golly, two typos in one video. A Sony RX 100 version 7 compact camera with zoom lens. It's awesome. For decorations, again, you go in for 6 months. You want to bring magnetic hooks that you can hang up at certain parts of Vista, certain walls it won't work on, but there's certain walls it does work on. It really helps you out. Consider building or bringing items that celebrate birthdays, marriages, and other events like football or Mother's Day while cruising and allow you to engage with other passengers. Little notepads, not a bad idea, or that people can write on, and make sure that you have enough spare room to bring back all the gifts you're going to be buying while you're traveling. There are certain affinity groups, Alcoholics Anonymous, military and solo travelers definitely have events, and there are some other affinity groups that will meet during every single segment. Um, you may need something to pack to participate. For me, I always go to the military event. I always wear a military hat that summarizes my 27-year-old career because we always start those affinity group meetings by introducing ourselves and summarizing our military service. Me wearing a hat that has everything on it just makes that really, really easy. You need to decide alcohol or no alcohol and how you're going to replenish that and how you're going to carry that. as you go along, or are you just going to use the alcohol that Oceania provides? They are generous in the ability to use alcohol or not use alcohol. And then finally, there's my affinity hat, by the way. A quick summary, four overarching packing strategies: minimalistic, balanced, extensive, and buy as you go. Multiple factors go into packing for a world cruise. I've kind of touched on it really at a sprint. But just note, I always pack the day of travel because I'm really good at it and I travel all the time. But in the case of the World Cruise, my wife and I will be packing in November. We're going to pack all of our suitcases, do a test run, make sure that we've got everything, and then do our cross leveling between the two and make sure that everything's there because I don't do World Cruises all the time. So hopefully this has been helpful to you in packing for a World Cruise. I'm using the Oceania 2026 cruise as the example. I apologize that this went long, but it's just impossible to cover all the aspects that go into a world cruise packing in 10 minutes. So we're at 16 minutes, but I think I've covered everything and at least got you thinking about it and pointed to some good resources. So if you liked it, subscribe. Thanks for staying to the end, and I hope you've enjoyed this additional video from Carver Clan Travels.